Hello and welcome to Chapter 271 of the DC Alliance podcast. With me, as always, is Joe. Joe, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. My job sucks and I'm sore, and I just realized I forgot that I was sore. So if you guys see me popping pills, it's not pills, it's just ibuprofen. It's fine. I'm hurt. I'm sore. I'm old. I just looked at
Ibuprofen.
my I just looked at my ibuprofen. I'm like, oh yeah, I was gonna take some of that. So, and you are
Sorry,
happy?
sorry.
What's up? What's
I
going on?
Toronto Maple Leafs just scored. So yeah. Flipping over my hat for a second, things are going crazy, Joe. This is usually the hat of disappointment. This is usually the team of breaking my heart, and we're on a run. We went past the first round. We're on to the second round, and we won the first two games against defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. So we're two away from knocking them out and going on to another round. Although it takes 16 wins to win the whole cup, so uh, I haven't seen the third round since I was do the math here. Uh oh geez. 16 years old, Joe. So I'm 37 right now.
Wow.
Yeah, and
That's
I've
called
never
two
seen him win.
decades.
My father has only seen them win one time in his life. He was the grand total of 7 years old. He is 68 years old right now. So, yeah, we've been a long time. 1967 was the last time this team won.
Wow.
A lot of disappointment in my life. I've lived a pretty sheltered life though, because like Toronto disappointments are like up there in the top 10 of disappointments in my life. So you can tell it's a sheltered life so far.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's fun.
but yeah, it is fun. And Oliver puts on the jersey every game day. Missed one because he was not having it. He was like angry, wouldn't put it on, and they lost that one. There's 5-1 when he puts on the jersey.
What
He
the
wouldn't
hell,
put it on
Oliver?
today. I bribed him with yogurt. Uh, so yeah, it's a fun sports side on my thing. But I'm taking care of Oliver because Allison's visiting a friend in another province. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. She'll be at the airport tomorrow at 7, I think. So it's been a little challenging, but he's been a trooper. So the only thing was I forgot to give him Restore-Lax water yesterday, and suffice it to say, he had a poop this evening that was not fun for him. It
Ooh.
took him a lot to get it out, and I felt terrible. He had his dose of Restore-Lax water right after that, so it wouldn't happen again. But yeah, not firing on 100% cylinders, but 90% is still good. And if you're watching this on YouTube, this is him sleeping right now very peacefully in his crib. So go dead. That's why we're starting late too, listeners. So, Joe, we
It's
got
all
a
good.
trailer. We got a trailer to talk about. We have some
Yeah.
content. So before we get into that, let me get the network plugs out of the way. So we are part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance with 6 shows in total. On Mondays, bi-weekly is Ranger Alliance. On Tuesdays is a walk through the multiverse. On Wednesdays is the Animation Nation. On Thursdays is Star Wars Alliance, who's covering Andor right now.
Yeah, they went from Thursdays to Saturdays until Andor was
Yeah.
over. We
Oh
probably
yeah,
should have
but
talked about that, 3 weeks ago, but hey, it's
yeah,
fine.
again, still propping them for
We've been
their.
busy. We've been
We've
busy.
been busy. So yeah, they've been covering Andor. They'll go back to the regular time after that. On Fridays, is Marvel Alliance, and on Saturdays is DC Alliance. Uh, Marvel Alliance goes live Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and DC Alliance goes live Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, normally on the Geekverse YouTube channel. I already said Star Wars Alliance. All three of those shows out their own podcast feeds. Search DC Alliance, Marvel Alliance, and Star Wars Alliance. If you just want DC content, Marvel content, or Star Wars content only, but if you want all 6 shows on a GUA podcast network, say subscribe to the GUA on your podcast app of choice. We also have a Patreon, 2 tiers, a $1 tier and a $5 tier. The $1 tier is basically a tip jar, like what we're doing. You want to help us out any way you can. And the $5 tier is where you get your extras. You get your ad-free episodes, early access to episodes, and sorry, that was close. And Patreon
Okay.
exclusive shows. Oh, I've got to turn that away a little bit right now. All through, we have 3 Patreon exclusive shows. We have the DC Films Through the Years, which has a new entry, edited and going to be posted tonight. We have the Marvel Alliance guys with 2 shows on the backlog for the patrons. Their Infinity Saga rewatch covering the entirety of Infinity Saga, and their Tales from the House of X, talking about their favorite Fox Marvel films. They have a new Patreon show
It's
now.
gonna be coming out in June sometime, from what Chris said last night
Yep.
on Marvel Alliance. It's called Baxter Broadcast, where they're gonna be going through the 4 Fantastic Four movies: the 1994 Roger Corman, the 2 popular ones, I guess, the ones that people know, the 2005, and then the Rise of Silver Surfer, and then the Fan Four Stick from 2012, 2013. I don't
I can't remember now when
2015.
that came out. That was a whole saga on its
Yeah.
own.
So they're gonna be going through all that. Obviously in preparation for Fantastic Four coming out at the end of July. So yeah, look forward to listening to those. The Roger Corman one. I mean, you can find that on YouTube. But also, if I would recommend going to watch the documentary as well. I can't remember what the documentary is called. I have to look
I've
it
never
up.
seen it.
Man, it goes behind the scenes, and you feel for that whole cast and crew. Man,
You know, that wasn't
they
their reason.
screwed
Yeah.
everybody on that cast and crew,
And
and
I was
that
telling you,
documentary goes into it.
and I'll tell you before the show, it looks like it reminds me so much of the Justice League TV pilot that they did
Yeah,
too. So, uh, yeah, it'll be excited. I can't wait to hear them talk about that one. I just love how the Thing looks in that.
man, you know what? I may actually rewatch that. It's been
I think I'd like
so
to. I
long
think I'd like to.
since I've watched that.
And I don't think David's seen it before. So
David, yeah, from
eventually,
what David said last night, he has not watched it, so it's gonna be a nice surprise for him.
yes. So, uh, we also have Joe's Multiverse Minutes, where he's doing his Disney deep dives on the 1st and the 15th of every month. Joe's reviewing his Disney film, not just reviewing it, giving you behind the scenes facts, tidbits, all that sort of thing. Joe, what's up on the 15th for the
Yeah,
patrons?
Pete's Dragon is coming up next.
Ooh.
That one, I haven't seen that since I was a kid. I thought the dragon was in it a lot more. He's not. So it's probably gonna be a shorter episode. Outside of my other because this is live action. It's more live action than animated.
Yeah.
So I just kind of stick to the animation stuff, and there's not a lot of animation news on this one. There were some interesting things, but yeah, just I don't know. Should be fun.
I look forward to hearing about that one, Joe. So we thank everyone that's a patron. If you're not a patron, take a quick 30, 60 seconds, rate and review the podcast on your podcast app of choice. Is always greatly appreciated. It helps other people find the shows, and that's always a good thing. Okay, Joe, we got a trailer. I'm dropping the trailer into our chat, our show notes now.
Hey,
I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to get this going. I have some thoughts.
I literally just watched it before because I when I looked notes, I'm like, oh yeah, the trailer's supposed to be here.
You let me
I
know when
literally
this
just
is up.
watched it before we went live because I think when it dropped, I was mowing or something. So yeah, it's up on the screen now. So
Okay, so
let's do this.
this is one we got to talk about. So he's going in here, and we see
Oh look, it's Maxwell Lord.
Maxwell Lord, Hawk Girl, and Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
I have some thoughts here because I want to talk to you because we don't see like these people anymore or any other hints to the DCU after this in this trailer. So I want to chat just a little tiny bit about this, and then we'll talk about what they actually say. But are you reading into this? When do you think this happens? Do you think this happens post Superman or pre Superman in the timeline?
In the timeline, I'm thinking post.
Okay, so that's what I was thinking as well, and probably my biggest thing that I'm trying to gather from that is this group is missing at least one of their members. At least one that we've seen. No, well, one that we've seen. We didn't. Metamorpho was another one, but we didn't really see him.
He's shown up in like 2 trailers, dude.
No, I meant like with the other crew. He's never been like we've seen 3 of them walk together. We have not seen.
Sure, okay, fair, but
so I meant Mr. Terrific.
Yeah, I knew what you meant, but
my thought is: do you think Mr. Terrific leaves this group after the events of Superman?
I would not be surprised.
That's what my
that's also assuming he makes it out of Superman.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to kill him, but you never know.
You're right. I just don't. I'm with you, and I don't think they'll kill him because I don't think you spend this much time and build up. Well, it could mean something too. So we will see. But I would hope that they don't do that, and I hope that Mr. Terrific's like
he's in for a while. Yeah. So, but we do have Isabella Merced right here, and I mean I'm currently watching her over on Last of Us as Dina, so it's fun to see her here as Hawk Girl.
And Guy Gardner, I love it. So I also want to know how what's going to be the impetus for him to leave to go to be on Lanterns.
I can see him. maybe not leaving, but him popping over to them to appear and be like, "Hey guys, you should I don't know, come over to the team or something." Trying to recruit them, or them going to him, tell or like calling him or something, being like, "Hey, you're an idiot."
I could
So,
see him going and being like, "Why didn't you alert the Lantern of Earth,
or
the current
something,
Lantern of Earth, or something like that?" Uh,
something
or
like
or
I can
yeah,
see him being petty, basically, because
or I could see like
Guy
just
Gardner's petty.
he's part of the Green Lantern Corps and that supersedes this JLA thing with Max Lord.
Maybe,
And I hope they make fun of his outfit. That's one thing I do hope they
and
do
his
with that
haircut.
one. Yeah. So yeah, they're talking about his skills, and they're not even paying attention at all. Uh, he can hear them talking back and forth
Yep.
while he's saying his things. Which, again, this
Which
is
at the same time, though, like you could see them, they're not being they're being very obvious with not paying attention. Like, come on. But he's laughing.
yeah. He's like, also that sucks. So yeah, that was a fun little thing, and that shows that we're in the DCU right now.
Well, and then at the same time, Superman comes out in July. This comes out in August. So I
Yeah,
guarantee this is taking place
and
after
essentially all of his
the
people that
group
were
broke
with
up.
him, yeah,
Yeah.
they all went their separate ways and have just normal jobs. I do love how Economos is making fun of her, like you're living in the worst level of Grand Theft Auto,
Yeah.
and
Some
oh my,
toxic masculinity. What?
yeah, so she's
Yeah.
just there smacking the woods. Oh, so Argus has been
Oh,
keeping track
Argus.
of uh of Peacemaker since Rick
Yeah.
Flag became director, which again, that we thought that was going to happen after the events of uh Creature Commandos or during
Hmm.
that, to be honest with you. So that makes sense
Yeah, we
now.
thought during. Yeah.
So
Which makes me think he'll probably become it in Superman.
yes, which is what I think as well. I wonder if we see Waller in Superman.
That's a good possibility.
Uh so yeah, he knows that he killed his son.
Yep.
And one thing Snell shared in our GUA chat that I immediately came to mind after he said it, which was about Nathan Fillion will make 3 appearances in DCU before 2006, which is more like as much as any other character in the DCEU made.
I mean, there was somebody posted that online, but yeah, he shared it,
Shared it,
which
but
which is true.
it's
But then
true.
you posted,
Well,
you said,
my immediate thought was, well, he's going to be in his 3rd appearance after Peacemaker because he's been in all the first 3. He was
yeah, he'll
in
have,
Creature Commandos, he'll be in Superman, and he'll be in Peacemaker.
yeah, so he'll have 3 within a year. So yeah,
And we have Tim Dillon. Is it Tim Dillon? No, not Tim Dillon. Tim Meadows.
there you go, Tim Meadows.
Yeah, as
That voice, the way as soon as he started talking, I'm like, I know that voice.
yeah, I love him too. He's so funny and so much. So I hope I love how he's like, you can't tell us, you can't call us by these nicknames. And he's like, where do you think we are right now? Berkeley? Peacemaker's
Like, I'll
on the
do what I want,
run. Seems
whatever,
like his group
whatever.
is on the run. And our main discussion is going to be in a little bit here. Uh, I can't even remember them being called the 11th Street Kids, if I'm being honest with you, but I know they
Yeah, I
definitely
do.
were.
I remember that because they named themselves that on their way to, I can't remember exactly which mission, but they found out that they all that Economos likes it, and him and Cena, or sorry, Peacemaker, like bonded over it, and then they all, after that mission, they all were just rocking out to it, and they called themselves that.
Okay, now I remember, yes. And Eagly's here,
Woo!
Vigilante's
Oh,
back wearing a
the
suit.
the helmet. Yeah, okay.
There are different people are wondering who Michael Rooker is playing here.
That's not Tomahawk, is it? That can't be Tomahawk.
No, I don't think he's playing. I also seen some people say Apache. I do not think that's
Oh,
who he's
Apache
playing.
Chief.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I don't.
yeah,
No, I
that's
don't think
no.
Gunn's that stupid. Like, come on now, you're not having Michael Rooker play Apache Chief. So
But he's
anyway, Michael Rooker.
definitely. I mean, it's definitely a
I
Native
saw
American
one
though.
thing where it was a character where cocaine enhanced his power. So I can't remember the name right now. Uh,
Cocaine enhances power.
yeah. So
Michael Jackson? No. Anyway. Okay, go ahead.
uh, character who no, yeah, he's right here. Hold on.
Charlie Sheen, got it.
I don't even know the character's name. Snowflame.
Snow. Okay.
Yeah. Was a villain conceived by Steve Englehart for an incredibly short-lived comic series called The New Guardians, appearing in just one of the series' eventual 12 total issues. The New Guardians were a superhero team comprised of some of DC's more obscure heroes, and according to the first issue, were specifically chosen to be an
Wait.
accurate representation of the various segments of the human race. It's also noted that the ultimate goal of the New Guardians was to pass on their genetically superior genes to the next generation. So his I'm Snowflame. Every cell of my being burns with the white hot ecstasy. Cocaine is my god,
Okay.
and I am the human
19,
instrument of its will.
1988 for. Oh, Millennium. Oh, okay. Sure. This is starting to make a little sense.
Which we know. I
Shit.
mean,
Okay.
Woody Cott was in the last one, Joe. Judo master. So,
Yeah.
like, there's no bounds to the obscure
Oh,
characters he might
Harbinger in
grab.
there.
So,
Okay. Funny enough, I'm actually gonna be getting to Millennium soon in my comics reading.
again, I can't wait to
Okay,
see who that
yeah.
character
Nope,
is.
that tracks.
So yeah, we have just all out action. This looks like it's going to be
Hey,
great.
go back there with Peacemaker and I'll buy you. You're right there. I just want to see her shirt. I thought it looked like a symbol on her shirt, but
I don't think so.
I don't think I think it's just a shirt.
Oh no, you're right. There is a symbol. You're right, Joe. Look, good eye. There is. There is a symbol there. I just noticed it twice.
Well,
Little yellow thing. Right there.
it could just be because I think she had that shirt on in the different scene.
So we get to, which is the piece de resistance right here, after he says ready for adventure, pal, to Eagly. He opens up the door in this pocket dimension and comes out to basically another Peacemaker. And that's where I think that could be the DCEU Peacemaker. This
Yep,
might
I
be a
agree.
completely different Peacemaker that has made most of the same decisions that our Peacemaker made.
I think that is how we end the show. That's
Mm-hmm.
how we get this Chris into the DCU. We
Which
get this
also,
Peacemaker into DCU.
if you really want to be legit, opens up a whole lot of possibilities for like potential ways to bring other characters in from that era. If this like pocket universe place he has opens up to different universes. Like, it does open
Well,
yourself up to, like, when you get down the road to a point where you're gonna do a big crossover, like, do a big thing like Marvel, if you ever get to that point, you actually have this to go back to be like, "We can go to these different universes. I have access to
that's
it."
yes, that's assuming they stay. That's assuming that they actually don't like blow up the door.
Yeah, which that's a so Joe, that's such a trope that probably will end up happening where they don't have access to it anymore, they can't go back through it.
I mean, it'd be the smartest idea because I'm not saying that they don't want to have the multiverse capabilities, but like people, I think are starting to get burnt out on the multiverse things.
You can
So
always have him go back, like, when you get to that point, like 10, 15, 20 projects down the road, if you want to do something like that, then
yeah,
you can have Peacemaker come to whoever's running Justice League and be like, "Yeah, I used to have access to other dimensions," and talk about it. Maybe somebody smart like Mr. Terrific can figure it out then. So
yeah, maybe, yeah,
that might be a way you go down the line. But I love this trailer. This got me so hyped for this show,
yeah. This was
and
fun. Like I was already on it. Like I was
you,
already ready for it. So it didn't really like move the level needle for me or anything. But
it piqued
I'm
my interest in more of what is going to
yeah,
actually
I'll
happen. Like
get you. Yeah,
they had us already from season one, but this piqued my interest because like the Rick Flag of it is enough to do the whole season. But then you have all these other elements of like why did they break up and uh the Pocket Universe thing. Is that going to be like the final scene in this
I yeah.
season?
I'll
Then
agree with
you
you on that. It definitely piqued my interest enough to want to know what's going on.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, we were obviously we were already gonna be there day one anyway.
We were in. We were in.
Yeah.
So thumbs up for both myself and Joe, and we'll take our first ad break of the evening. Listeners, we're an ad-supported network. We don't pick the ads or the volume. I'm going to give you a quick 3 count to adjust your volume, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. And we're back. And if you're watching on YouTube, I think the person who played this character might want to see if they can play him again.
Because that's going a lot.
That's it when you're a scab. Okay, moving on.
Anyway,
There is some posters and merch for Peacemaker as well. We had that photo on for the start of our show. Eagly and Peacemaker basically doing a headbutt of love. And I watched this live the other night, Joe. And I'm going to give a shout out to DC and Warner Brothers WBD. I don't do it often, obviously, because there's a lot of terrible decisions. But I've seen a lot of people be like, "Good job, the marketing. They're doing such a good job. Like, look at the things they're picking." Shout out to them for picking things they already own.
right?
Saves a whole lot of money on that marketing budget when you do synergy and cross promote. So they are really. We'll get into this even a little bit more in the like in the news topics, but yeah, John Cena went on NBA on TNT, and they tried on a whole bunch of Peacemaker masks. So again, just exposing it to maybe a set of fans that wouldn't have seen this before, and it was really funny. It was a funny one of the more funny things
I
for
think
them.
here's the other thing. Most I feel like nowadays you got sports fans who actually do watch this stuff.
Oh,
Back in like the
100%.
90s and maybe early 2000s, yeah, like exactly. But like 90s and early 2000s, you probably didn't. Those streams didn't cross. But
Nope.
nowadays, one, because that's really all of the entertainment, the good entertainment. I wouldn't say good, but the thing that people are talking about mostly. Because I was just thinking about that a second ago. Like, I've got a friend who watches. He's a Pacers fan, and he's going to be watching the game tonight because it's they're playing tonight. But we also talk about Marvel movies constantly, or like he really loved the Penguin. So like it's just kind of interesting that you may not have that the idea that these people may not have seen that, like these people may not be watching it. I don't think it's as niche as it used to be, you know.
Oh, you're 100% right about that, Joe. Like that's something I think it's just
But
as much
it
like
is
the
just it is just
accessibility to in your hand and like how
yes, but it
easy it
is
is.
helping the promotion, helping
It is getting out
remember,
there to
hey, this is
some
coming.
people. It's getting
Yeah,
to some people, and when it's Superman, it's like Peacemaker might be, but I will say the sell for Peacemaker is you don't have to leave your house. And most people, not most people, okay, at least half the people that are watching that NBA on TNT thing are watching it on Max. So
mm-hmm.
they're basically saying to you on August 21st, we're having a new show on Max. You can just watch it on Max like you are
Yeah,
right now, sitting at your home. So I do understand that one little bit, but the Superman one makes the most sense to me because anybody and their son. My dad asked me 2 days ago. He seen an advertisement for after the hockey game about Superman and said to me, "Is it worth going? Do you think I should go? Do you think it's going to be a good movie?"
nice.
So I was like, "Dad, I do think it's going to be a really good movie to go to." I was like, "It's not anything like the previous one." So, uh, and yeah, so it all depends on who you like. Even like not just one, but you want to get it to the most people possible.
Correct. Yes.
When you
Yeah. Yeah.
this is the last year they had the NBA. They won't have the NBA anymore.
Oh,
So this
okay.
is
So
the
you
last year
definitely
to
want to
expose
push it as much as possible.
and
Okay.
maybe NBA is like, oh my God, like can you stop with your stuff? But no, they're getting every ounce out of the top.
Everybody that can.
Well,
Yeah.
they got the guys who host that show, NBA on TNT. They have them signed for like 5 and 6 more year deals because they signed them all telling them we needed you to bid on the NBA, which they didn't do. And now they're like, yeah, we won't let you out of your contract. We're going to do a show for you that has nothing to do with the NBA. We have no NBA highlights. Like we're going to get you to talk about various topics. So yeah, some of the stuff they're not doing smart, but this with
Well, I
Superman,
mean, Shaq though, like Shaq has been a Superman fan forever, obviously. Like,
yes, and he was actually in DC as
yeah,
Steel. So,
yeah.
and there's some cool Peacemaker merch on the DC shop as well. There's a nice shirt and a fanny pack. So, uh, wanted to shout out that nice merch here.
I still need to get a Superman shirt.
Same.
The same.
I'm getting it before we
I
watch
need
that
to,
movie.
but that's only 2 months away. Like, I need to do it like now.
So, Joe, we have some not so great news.
Yeah.
Mike Flanagan wrote his previous draft of the script that seems to be bit and pushed aside a little bit because DC Studios taps Drive writer Hossein Amin to rewrite Clayface. An exclusive here from Scooby Pants, Umberto Gonzalez. Mike Flanagan wrote the previous draft of the script. James Watkins, who directed last year's remake of the Danish thriller Speak No Evil for Universal, is attached to direct. The film will be by Matt Reeves and Leon Harris. The film is scheduled to begin production in October in the UK. Known as Batman's one of those introduced to vintage DC Comics as Basil Carlo. They don't have anything there. Yeah.
The thing that they are still planning on shooting in, you said October, like that's not that far away, and they're rewriting the whole script.
Yeah, and I don't even know.
Hurts.
Some of this stuff is I don't even know. Like my assumption on Joe with half this is like most of this stuff got to be shelved until you have Supergirl, Superman, and Lanterns do. Because
yes. But also, you have to remember that this news is coming out now for us. It's probably already circulated in those circles for months. Like they may already have another script done and working. Like, who knows?
Fingers crossed on that one, Joe. Yeah, there isn't much else in this. Nope.
It just sucks because I love Mike Flanagan, and he's a great horror writer.
Let's be honest, Joe. That was the selling point to this
film
when he was
so many people.
But when he announcing it, he announced it with Mike Flanagan in it. I'm pretty sure in that DCU chapters he did. So
that's what I'm saying. Like that was a draw. That was, like you said, draw for so many people, me included.
Yeah,
like
we got really excited when we watched that. Like,
it's I love Mike Flanagan stuff. I'm rewatching. How long have I been saying I want Clayface in the movie? Clayface and Mad Hatter. I want those two. Did you wake up, Oliver?
No, he coughed, but he didn't wake.
Okay.
He can't hear me from here. So yeah, again, it sucks. Give shout out to Umberto Gonzalez for getting it right because guy pushed back on it, but that's not true. And James Gunn has not known, so it's definitely true. And going back to our cross promotion, Joe, Superman they're going really hard at it right now with like their WBD with their NBA. They do a partnership with Jason Tatum, who is the star for Boston, who won the finals last year, and they do have a couple scenes with Superman basically on the TV and Jason Tatum walking. Like I'm not
cool.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Like I think they're implying he's Superman.
There was a time in 1999 where a little movie called Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace came out. And they over-promoted it with literally everything.
You're right. It was everywhere. I feel like they had like they spent all the money to do like all the takeout, like all the fast food.
You had candies, you had pop, you had commercials, you had the fast food, you had toys, like you had everything. And don't get me wrong, I love the prequels, but like you had everything. I collected Pepsi cans.
Yeah. Why? I remember
because they had faces on them.
I remember those stupid ass Pepsi cans. Oh my god, I do.
But what I'm saying is they were doing these promotions for the littlest things. Why are you having an ad with a basketball player walking and a video of Superman in the background?
Yeah, that one wasn't like they got. I would say you just needed to show his sneakers, and it would have been cool enough. Like those, like he got new Superman sneakers. He even got the emblem on them. Like that looks cool, but like the ad, I wasn't quite sure what they were doing there, Joe. Like I like the scene of Superman parts, but like you said, it was on a screen, and it's just him walking. That's nowhere near the worst. I put this one in. This one, I don't understand. I can't believe like DCU Updates is putting it in for a story. But the Food Network show Super Mega Cakes will premiere with an episode that features Superman-inspired challenge ahead of the release of Superman.
I mean,
I don't care. Like that's one of the things I do not care about is cakes that look like Superman. I'm sorry.
I mean, those would be fun because I'll be It'd be fun to see. Like those baking. Look, those baking shows are great. I love watching those. So it might be kind of cool. Maybe.
I I will be. I can't. I don't think I'll be checking that out. That's one of those ones they won't be hook me in with. Uh, but again, if people enjoy it, I guess they're getting their job done. I will enjoy a flurry
Yeah.
uh, from DQ because apparently Superman is partnering with them as well. There are some cups out right now with the picture that we saw a long time ago of Superman and Crypto staring off at Earth. So, oh, I almost left. That was close. Yeah, I love it. There's toys out too, Joe. That was the other thing here. We have some toys for Superman, Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, and I think that's the
His name is Hammer.
Epic Strike Hammer is what it says. I
No,
don't think.
so Epic Strike is what these toys
Okay,
are.
yeah, Hammer. Yeah,
Hammer
you're right.
is the
You're right.
name.
You're right. Epic Strike Green Lantern. Yeah.
I don't. Okay.
The hammer of that's that guy on the newspaper. The hammer
That's
of
right.
Bolivia or Bol
That's
something like that.
right.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah.
the yeah, okay, whatever, that's fine.
So yeah, I wonder Superman's comes with like his hand basically in ice. I wonder if that happens in the movie. Like he
That'll
has
be
to
interesting.
fight. That'd be pretty cool. If anything, maybe against the kaiju that breathes fire.
Maybe we'll see.
So another thing here, which again maybe might get more people. For the Fortress of Solitude will be a location in the next season of Fortnite. That is from apparently Fortnite Intel is a Twitter that has 378,000. Oh my god! Okay, a lot of followers.
I mean, if I was on Twitter anymore, I would care. With my
That's,
103 followers.
I don't even know what I have. Fortress of Solitude.
I'm so lonely, guys.
I know that Star Wars. I play Fortnite.
Star Wars was a major one on there. I mean,
And it's an absolute
literally.
dumpster fire. This Star Wars one compared to like other ones, they really phoned it in. They like,
What?
yeah, it's not
They would
nearly.
never.
Yeah, it's.
Um,
But Superman will be the first time. I wonder if you can play a Superman. I wonder will you like there are things like where you'd have to fight Superman if you get like kill him, you'd get his some like a power or two of him. Like that's what it was like. They had all the Marvel characters where like if you killed Iron Man, you got his guns and boots. Like
okay.
if you like, there was Black Panther. You had his like you could run fast and you. So yeah, it all depends. I do think they'll have a Superman there, but you'll have some visibilities too. If you're putting Fortress Solitude in there, I do think Superman's gonna be in there. I'll be interested to see it. I do think that would get kids going. If
Maybe.
even I know that Fortnite had a thing. I don't know if it was the last Star Wars film or something. I can't remember what it was. That
During for the Rise of Skywalker, that's how they announced the return of Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah, so
Fortnite.
Yeah, so they had a level where there's a area in the level where it's basically a drive-in movie theater, and they just showed that clip over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So,
yeah, okay.
But again, if it brings more people in, I'm all for it. But they already have you and I, Joe. We're not. There's no way we're not going to watch it.
Yeah.
We have. Let me see.
A break?
Yeah. We're going to take our last ad break of the evening. Listeners, we're an ad support network. We don't pick the ads or the volume. Going to give you a quick 3 count to adjust your volume, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. Stay asleep, Oliver. And we're back. It's just like this.
We're almost done, buddy.
Sleep. So just waiting in his sleep. Yeah, so we have the cinematographer for Lanterns has been revealed. It's Gregory Middleton from Watchmen, Moon Knight, and Game of Thrones. Well, he's one of the cinematographers.
Okay.
And then Florian Hoffmeister, True Detective, and Armando Salas, Ozark are also cinematographers on Lanterns. So
I mean,
Can't
Those
go
are
wrong
some.
with the
That's a
pretty.
good
Every one of them
good
got one
file. Yeah.
top tier credit at least, and the Gregory Middleton, all he got is like say what you might, but Moonlight is shot fantastic, like
I mean,
visually.
Watchmen show. I'm assuming it's the show.
Yeah,
Um, obviously was everybody loved it. I still need to
same thing as
watch it.
Game of Thrones too.
Game of Thrones, everybody loved it until the last couple seasons. Moon
But
Knight was
even then, it
great.
all looked beautiful. Like it all
Oh yeah,
doesn't matter. Like
well, you say that, but I could actually, I could. I would like to actually see things happen in the dark.
yeah, I don't even. Yeah, you're right
Anyway,
around there. Yeah.
that's one thing. And my girlfriend will laugh and make fun of shows when it's like you see it's in the dark, and I can actually make things out. Unlike Game of Thrones, still to
It's
this
like really
day,
making that
to
fire,
this
really,
day.
really making those fire and those sticks really valuable, aren't you? Oh
Um,
my. So fortunately, this is not one of my top things I'd like to be talking about here today. But Crazy Man,
Orange Man bad. Orange
Orange
Man
Man bad,
dumb.
Orange Man ruining whole Earth, not just your country.
He's a he's a.
Uh, I just don't even
I
understand. Like, I
will.
can't
Okay.
even try to understand
Okay.
the logic. I don't want to
Do you want to know the logic?
insult any.
Here's
I don't.
here's
I
the
don't want to
logic.
insult
Okay.
anyone
Okay. Hold
at
on.
all.
Oh, I
Who you
will.
voted
I'll
for?
give
I
two
don't want to
shits.
insult you.
I will. Okay. This is my views. This is not the views of DC Alliance. This is the views of me personally, Joe Gennaro. This is not the views of DC Alliance or Geek Ultimate Alliance. Donald Trump is a anyway. No. So I think he personally just whoever talks to him and gives him an idea. He's like, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that. He has no ideas of him that he has himself. He has no idea what the hell he is doing. He's a dumb idiot, and that's just my opinion.
Yeah, and this is tough because he's like the movie industry. This is what he said. It's going to be hard for me to try to read this when it all making sense. The movie industry in America is dying a very fast death. Other countries are offering all
Wonder
sorts of
fucking why. Sorry, I was trying not to cuss.
to draw our filmmaker and studios away from the United States. Hollywood and many other areas within the USA are being devastated. This is a concerted effort by other nations and therefore a national security threat. It is, in addition to everything
National.
else, messaging and propaganda. What messaging and propaganda? How is that? Okay, whatever. If I gotta stop like that, I'll go to the wall. Therefore, I'm using the Department of Commerce, authorizing the Department of Commerce and the United States Trade Representatives to immediately begin the process of instituting a 100% tariff on any and all movies coming into our country that are produced in foreign land. We want movies made in America again. Now, I will say, before I go eviscerating this orange idiot, I will say that I have seen a lot of actors and a lot of people from California complain. I will say, seen them complain about the fact that all these other places are offering much more tax incentives to get them to film there. Atlanta, BC, here in Canada, Australia is another one. England is another, like the UK, like several places are offering better than in California, where a lot of these major studios are based out of. So, how this affects us is DC and even Marvel Alliance, both DC and Marvel have their main headquarters over in the UK for filming. DC especially, like they film they're filming Supergirl over there now, aren't they? I'm pretty sure.
I think so. I think it's
They
overseas.
really built their
Well,
headquarters there.
it's
They
it's
talked about that. They filmed the
well,
Flash over there.
yeah. It's the these companies have years and years, and their businesses have their headquarters everywhere. California, New York, UK, Australia, Canada. I was like, yes, like Atlanta is a place that they film. California is a place they film. Like those two are some of the bigger places in America. They do film out in the Utah and New Mexico. Those are some good location shoots. But like the best places is in Canada. You have so much open area out there.
The thing I
You've
heard
got
about BC, Joe, is that they can make it be anywhere. Like
exactly
you can make Vancouver seem like New York or
literally
like,
that's literally it.
but you can also
And
go to the mountains and get like the like completely different side of things, and you can go to
and
like the
to
winter and like
and
it's
you
all there. Yeah.
want to film on location. You want the location. When you film in a studio on a set, it like on a TV show, that's different. You're
Hmm.
not doing in location. You're filming on set, usually in front of a live studio audience. That's a TV show. He's talking specifically films. He's talking
Yeah.
specifically movies, which makes sense. Fine. You want the locations. You want to go places.
You want the
You
work.
want you
That this
want
makes sense. This is like not a this. No, sorry, I almost said that.
but it's just
Let's suck it back. I didn't mean this makes sense. The idea that you would like more films to be filmed in America
sure
makes sense
give
to me because it would
give
create
better
jobs.
tax cuts.
There you go,
Have
Joe.
it have
There
it
you go. There
have it
you
make
go.
sense. Like
Yes.
the
There you
reason
go.
they film outside of the US is because the incentives is to film outside of there.
Yes.
That's
And
why they do it. This
and
100% tariff isn't doing anything. You know why? That just means I got to pay more to go see it. Actually, I don't because I've got the Regal Unlimited
and a
thing.
funny
But
thing for me too is like all these like Zaslav, Amazon God, Bezos, all these people cozied up to Trump and like are best friends with him, and now their industry is getting attacked. And I guarantee you, none of them were consulted on it.
of
So
course not.
yeah, I don't. It won't affect Superman. Like obviously, you can't make that more American than
Well,
like.
again,
There's no way. Like Trump's so dumb that he would be like, yeah, there's no way. Like Superman is American. Like he won't. Like I can see him doing that, but like
I don't even think he knows who Superman is. The man's too
he probably
stupid.
still thinks it's Chris Reeves. Like I don't think he's
Yes,
that dumb.
that
Like he
probably.
like you got any like he would know what the S is. I think he has
Mm,
one of those Trump NFTs where he rips off the shirt and it is. It's a Trump.
about ready to quit the show,
Oh,
Travis.
sorry,
About ready to
sorry,
quit the show.
sorry.
I'm
We'll
not
keep moving on.
your face.
We'll keep moving on because we don't have much else. So Alice,
I'm not quitting the show, guys.
I know you're not. Alice Henquin has been cast as Scarlian Raider in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow via
Mhm.
Nexus Point News. So, Joe,
Um.
do you remember this character in
Oh
Supergirl Woman of
yeah,
Tomorrow?
totally. I totally remember who that is. I haven't read the book for it. We need to cover the book still before that movie comes out. I do not remember who that person is.
I don't
If
either, but
my
I will find out in a second.
if my thought process reminds me, I think there was somebody who was chasing after the was the girl that was with Supergirl.
Scarlet. Well, later. Leave me alone.
I mean,
Scarlet Raiders don't appear in Tom King's original Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow's comic series that serves as the basis for the film, suggesting that the movie may be expanding on the
never
source
mind.
material. So, who are the Scarlian Raiders? The Scarlian Raiders first appeared in Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes 223 back in 1977, created by Paul Levitz, Bob Wyack, and James Sherman. They are an all-female group of space pirates hailing from the planet Sklar. These raiders are known for targeting science outposts and research laboratories across the galaxy, specifically seeking advanced technology to aid their struggling homeworld. While primarily portrayed as thieves, the Scarlian Raiders occupy a moral ambiguous position in DC's universe, often acting out of necessity rather than malice. Their inclusion in the film potentially adds another layer of complexity to Supergirl's cosmic adventure, possibly serving as antagonists or reluctant allies during her journey.
I can see them being like not a sub boss, but maybe an antagonist along the way.
Yeah, it could be like somebody that helps, or like they said, somebody that is a foe. I look forward to seeing this. I like I don't even care if we don't see this, if this is wrong. I just like the fact that there's no restrictions on these ideas anymore. There's no like that's too far out there, that's too crazy. Uh, why isn't it going back to Krypton? None of that stuff. It's just like let them cook. And James Gunn's not going to ask those questions anyway. But it's just nice that DC Studios is so much more valuable just for getting projects that are, I don't know, more to the source material.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing is that Supergirl's Woman of Tomorrow is already filming. So how long has this been in the can? You know?
Yeah, That's one thing because it's definitely at least halfway. I thought I heard someone say that Supergirl.
Halfway already?
I thought I heard that somewhere, or I sort of saw that somewhere.
Didn't we just get like the image of Lobo like 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, but he's not. I don't know how much of a part of that. Like they could have had a lot done before he showed up.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point.
Okay.
Stop. We're almost done. Stop checking the
That was
game.
off the post. I'm sorry, Joe. This is the playoffs. We're up 2-1. This is if we win this game, I might cry.
Well, let's finish up talking about Smallville and
Yes.
actually a decent episode.
Season 6, episode 16. Promise.
Yeah. Now, I will say, I made the mistake of watching this at work. So, because this episode and the way it plays out is you start following Clark and it plays out and then it rewinds and starts
I
following
hate
Lex.
those episodes.
No, I love those episodes
I don't-
because you
I
actually
don't-
have to pay attention.
I like it when it's like the Groundhog Day one. I don't like to see like.
Oh no!
like,
See, I love it because it's the same day but multiple views. I love that.
it just reminds me of like Allison watching How to Get Away with Murder, because I feel like there was like all kinds of those times, and
Okay.
I would walk in and be like, "What is going on?" and I would have no idea. So
I don't know, I actually enjoy this episode outside of the Lionel and Lana segment where he comes in and it's like, oh, so you found out about Clark's secret. Well, if you don't marry Lex, I'm gonna kill him. Like,
yeah,
what?
that was he was like, is he being nice? But that also, if he was being nice, that like trying to spare Lex from heartbreak. My thought is he's trying to spare Lex from heartbreak because he doesn't want Lex to turn into who Lex is going to turn into, and he thinks if he marries Lana, he won't turn into
Yeah,
that person.
I don't remember much, and I'm also wondering
I don't remember if there's any explanation why he does it, Joe. That's just
Yeah.
my thought immediately in my head, just from remembering what happens to him next season.
Yeah, I don't remember that either. So
Okay, I'll keep my mouth zipped on that.
that's fine. But no, like I enjoyed this episode, minus the one little part. But I do know that this marriage doesn't last. I don't remember how long it lasts, but I know it doesn't last.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't think it gets through the season. If I'm being honest.
Oh no, it ends. It's done before the season ends.
Yeah,
because I'm pretty certain Kristen Kirk leaves before the season's over.
I think she comes back, but I do think they like do the whole sort of like if I think she gets into a car, a Vince McMahon style, like where she gets into a car and explodes.
No, that was Chloe back in like season 3.
Oh.
Well, that was the house. No, I'm pretty sure she just like up and left. Again,
I think you're thinking about the
I
second
don't
time.
remember.
I think you're thinking about the second time she leaves instead of the first time. If she comes back, she has powers at one point, and her and Clark have power sex.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. Super sex, I guess we'll call it, instead of power sex.
Okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah, so she leaves and comes back for a little bit, and then she leaves again, and she's gone for good. So I'm not sure if she goes for good. I think she goes for good in season 7. I think both her and Lex are gone for good after that season. And then we got 3 seasons of not Lex, which they're so desperate for villains. It's oh my God, well, I can't wait.
It gets. I mean, we get to Zatanna at one point, which
yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Anyway,
so yeah, basically the 3 storylines: Lex and Dr. Langstrom, Lana finding out about. Well, you're right about the Lionel of it all, but Lana finding out about Clark.
and yeah, I did like how she. I mean, her finding out. Also, yeah, her remembering the prom night. Like, why did you? They should have seeded that throughout the last couple of years. Which I get when you're writing up storylines. It's not like you're gonna think about that 3 seasons later. But like, you could have seeded that maybe beginning of the season, so that she could be questioning it the entire time, and then, all right, hey, I need to figure this out before I marry Lex, and not just beginning of this episode.
I don't even think Lois was in this episode.
I said Lana.
No, I'm just thinking to myself.
No, she wasn't. No, she was not at all.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, like, so Lana has a dream, or the the dream of Clark saving her, and then I need to figure out what's going on. And her figuring out is fine. Like I did like that, but then, like I said, Lana or Lionel threatening her, dumb, just dumb.
Yeah, like especially he's been basically covering for Clark the entire season with Lex. Like Lex would have found out about Clark during the Justice one if he didn't make up lies about Clark being with him,
Right?
having helpings of stuff, and oh yeah, you eat a lot. Rah, 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 rah. And now he's just like, yeah, you marry my horrible son, or I will kill Clark. You're like, what? What?
Yeah,
But
I don't
again,
know.
my logic in my head, without getting any explanation because I can't remember if there is one, is that he just doesn't want Lex to become the villain that he ends up being next season. And
Oh, look, we got it anyway.
yeah, can't just force Lana. Maybe you could have been better father to him growing up instead of.
Can't do that. That
Can't.
means he actually had to have actually cared.
So yeah, that was it's okay for me. I don't think there's that many episodes left in this season. I think this might be a shorter one, if I remember.
Let me double check real quick.
No, 22 episodes. Okay,
I
so
don't
we
think
still got quite a bit. We got Chloe's mom got to show up, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then somebody that I know that like I'm trying to think. Like
22.
I know that Lex basically tries to make like a super Captain America, like a super soldier with like all kinds of powers from different people in 33.1.
Oh, fun.
And I think the guy is like a former army person that Lois knew. I
Okay.
can't remember his name. That's about as far as I can go, but I do think Lois is tied in.
Next season we got 20 episodes.
Yeah, okay.
That's the lowest we have. Everything else is 22. So, yep.
Cool.
Let's end the show.
Yes. Yes. Let's go, listeners. Okay. So, Joe, that wraps up our show. I look forward to. I think we're getting there's scuttlebutt. The rumors is that Superman trailer might drop next week. So fingers crossed about that. Fingers crossed we get like an explanation of what's going on in this world trailer. And I'm excited because James Gunn's basically like, you guys, you're going to be super excited for the trailer. Fingers crossed that happens next week because that would be a nice thing to talk about come Friday.
Yeah, I hope so.
And we
We're
only got
literally like what, 2 months away?
Yeah, like 7 weeks. What? Yeah, exactly 2 months. You're right. We'll be talking about it 2 months from now.
Heck yeah.
Yes. Okay, listeners. We'll be back next week with hopefully a Superman trailer. Until then, see you, everyone.
Bye, y'all.